So, what's going to happen this month? We're going to do some things together. We're going to act in the world. But as we act in the world, I think there will be other changes. There'll be inner changes. It will be a spiritual journey also. There will be community changes. As Quakers and people that we're working with, we become a stronger community. And perhaps we will make an outer transformation to the world. We can't know where we will be successful, but we can focus on being faithful together. So, um, in growing the Quaker community, let's start with where we're at and grow. We don't have to be anything more than we are already. We are enough. There will be a WhatsApp group that you can join, and that will be a great comfort and support. We're going to learn about cultures. We already have. We've already started. And we're going to learn how to empathize across difference or strengthen. And I believe that we will strengthen the spirit between us. But when we are involved in the outer transformation, let's start with first steps. There are things you can do. Joining the WhatsApp group will be very helpful. The web page, myanmarmatters.info, has got some basic information. The FWCC Asia West Pacific newsletter went out this morning very early, and it has some videos and background material if you're feeling like you need to learn a bit more. The first steps will be involving listening, learning stories, and then beginning to share those stories about life in Myanmar. You can join the Sunday online Yangon meeting for worship too. And it may seem not very much, but in fact, it can make a big difference for you to start supporting Burmese businesses in your area. Not only will you get to know the culture, but many Burmese living away from Australia, living away from their country, can really do with our support. As we grow in confidence, and we can start engaging with the media, we can call for divestment from companies and banks that are supporting the Myanmar military. We can donate to organisations. We can host vigils. And we can see if we're called to sponsor Myanmar students attending university. We can get to know the Burmese solidarity groups, and that takes time. You can raise awareness in your meeting or friend's church. You can connect and support Quakers already working on the front line for peace. They're amongst us. They can be a very useful perspective on what's happening. Now, just know that being here, we've already begun our action. We've already heard from Summer that she feels the support and care, that she doesn't feel isolated. There are skills involved in outer transformation, and I can leave these with you. We don't have to read them. But what I would say is we have to get some situational awareness. We need some advice from our community, including from Burmese people. We refine what we do, and from that solid place, we act with integrity and then interpret, reflect what's happened. We grow in systematic awareness to how the system is working to keep Burma happening. But it's also a spiritual transformation. We are here now because we have said we will not close our eyes to what is happening into Myanmar. We will make some bandwidth for it. But as we step in, we practice humility, we listen, we learn, we quietly test, we use Quaker processes, and we can't know where we'll be successful, but we know if we practice our faithfulness, good things will happen, and they will influence the way we do our actions and reflecting then. I think the benefit will be an inner one as well. Our moral imagination deepens. There are some ideas on the website about what you can do, and I'm happy to share those PowerPoints. But the real engine of change is likely to be the WhatsApp group. Okay, well, that's an introduction. We may hear some more ideas, but I'm going to pass to John now, who has something to share with us.
Next, we'll hear from Gyomun Kam, or as she tells people, call me Mo. Mo has been working for American Friends Service Committee, AFSC, for a few years. In AFSC, she oversees a small but capable staff that does great but low profile work. For us, she's going to describe a few of the country's many recent challenges slash crises, AFSC's efforts in the face of those challenges slash crises. As we've said earlier during this event, please respect the need in the face of those challenges to make AFSC's efforts safe and discreet in order to protect the staff and the program. Doing work that in other settings might be thought of as simply Quakerly can in Myanmar be very risky. Mo, we're very grateful to you. Over to you.
Good morning, good evening, and good day to you, dear friends. And thank you for holding Myanmar and our people in the light, and for giving me this space to share a brief reflection on life in our country today. This year marks 5 years since the military coup in Myanmar. For those who may not be familiar with Myanmar, our country is deeply diverse, home to many ethnic communities, faith traditions, and long histories of civil war and military rules. For a brief time before 2021, we experienced a fragile opening, a sense of civil space, a hope for democratic participations, and the possibility of lasting peace after decades of military dominance. That fragile progress was abruptly hailed on February 1st, 2021, when the military seized power overturned the result of the 2022-20 elections, detained elected leaders, and reimposed military rule. Since then, Myanmar has been plunged into multiple overlapping crises: political repressions, armed conflict, economic collapse, climate-related disaster, and a deepening humanitarian emergency. In daily life, this means fear, loss, and constant uncertainty. Armed conflict has spread into places once known for peace. Central Myanmar and major cities like Yangon and Mandalay, for example. Airstrikes in ethnic states and Upper Myanmar has taken a devastating toll on civilians, especially women and children. Civilians has experienced violence and other abuses. Displacement is no longer temporary, but a repeated conditions of life. The intensifying conflict has destroyed homes, schools, clinics, and places for worship. Access to food, healthcare, education, and livelihood grow ever more fragile. For those of us living through this year, they have been long and heavy, testing not only our resilience, but our faith in dignity, truth, and peace. The military's conscription law adds another layer of trauma. Young people are forced into armed services against their will. Families live with constant anxiety, unsure if their sons or daughter will be taken. Many youth hikes, free or abandon their educations and livelihoods to avoid the forced recruitment. For those in ethnic states, the threat is double, pressure coming from both the military and armed groups. As so often happens in war, it is the poor and the displaced who suffer most unjustly. At the same time, job opportunities have sharply declined due to the ongoing conflict and international sanctions. Prices for food, fuel, medicine, and basic goods remain high, while incomes continues to fall. Families are forced to make impossible choices. Some parents reduce their own meals so their children can eat, or delay seeking medical care because transportation and treatment costs are simply unaffordable. This quiet sacrifice reveals the human cost behind the economic figure. Cuts in international fundings have compounded this hardship. The closure of some embassies in the near future in Myanmar, such as Finland and Denmark, just announced their closure of embassy and funding in 2026, including major international aid initiatives like USAID, had reduced support for humanitarian relief, protections, and peace building. These losses are felt mostly at the community level, where needs continues to grow. Most recently, the military has posed for what a shame general elections, despite having overturned the last 5 years in an attempt to claim legitimacy. People here face subtle pressures to participate alongside tighter restriction on free expressions and dissent. Rather than offering hope, this development had deepened fear, uncertainty, and ongoing conflict. And yet, friend, this is not the whole story. Even amid conflict, displacement, and loss, communities continues to grow extraordinary courage and resilience. People share food, shelter one another, care for the injured, and organize measure aid when former system fail and outside support is limited. I think of an EFSC alumni from Kaya State near the Thai border who participated in our leadership program and now live in an IDP camps. With no reliable internet access, he traveled at a great risk to a nearby town just to join our training. He arrived early, participated fully, and model leaderships and commitments for others. Beyond the program, he continues to serve his community with tireless dedications. His story reminds us that even in displacement, leadership, service, and hopes they can present. For our part, EFSC Myanmar continues to stand alongside communities in movement of distress. We work closely with civil society groups, youth, women, and marginalized communities, providing humanitarian assistance while strengthening local leadership and resilience for lasting peace. When Cyclone Mocha struck in Mocha in 2024 and following the recent earthquake in central Myanmar, our staff, partner, and alumni mobilized quickly to support local response, reaching families with food, essential supplies, and psychosocial care. We work hand in hand with local partners without distinction of gender, ethnicity, religion, and political identity. This accomplishment is grounded in a simple but ensuring a commitment to respond to human need whenever it's found and to uphold the dignity and worth of every person in keeping with Quaker testimonies. Friends, Myanmar's stories today hold deep suffering and steadfast resilience. Your solidarity is a living witness. It tells our community in Myanmar that they are not forgotten, and it affirms our shared faith that even times of great darkness, the seed of peace, when tended together, can stay grow. Let us speak with integrity and courage to call for an end to forced recruitment that endanger young people's lives. Let us uphold equality by asking international governments to reverse funding cuts that deepen hunger and displacement. Let's live our testimony of community by accompanying local community in humanitarian response and peace building. And may we also remember those unjustly imprisoned, including Aung San Suu Kyi, and listening for how we are called to bear faithful witness through prayer, public voice, and continuous solidarity. I stop my sharing here, friends. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mo. I would like to share about my experience as well. So please allow me to share my. For the beginnings of the military coup, we all a lot of peoples from Burma protest about the military coup, that we don't want to do that. We don't want to have that experience. We want the democratic elected leaders, and a lot of things, a lot of movement that we have done in Myanmar at the early stage of the military coup. You can see in the photos that we have done, a lot of people are doing that kind of movement. But even though we did a lot of protesting and showing non-violence way that we are not don't like the movement, that military still control the power and they are not releasing our leader, and they still do the control till now. So because of that, because of the military coup happened, so when the conflict is prolonged, that's Mo already talked. So the economy, the country economy is collapsed. As you can see in the data, like in Thailand is a neighboring country of Myanmar, and even the basic salary of a worker rate is like above $10 or $11 per day. But in Myanmar, it's nearly $1 per day. So it's like very, very low. And how because of the economic collapse, the inflation rate is also increased as well. As you can see in the graph, in 2021, it is only like $1,800, a hundred Myanmar currency for $1. But when the conflict is prolonged, you can see it reached to nearly to 7,000 Myanmar currency for $1. So you can see how inflation rate is really, really bad in Burma, and a lot of peoples are suffering these kinds of consequences. So even though we face a lot of difficulties, we still like overcome each challenges because, for example, as you can see, there are internet connections in some of the areas of Burma. There is no internet connections, so we have to contact to the internationals, like maybe some people who want to learn about the do their online classes, and also some people want to have a meetings with other peoples to do their fundraising. They need the internet, so they start to use the Starlink, which is due by the Elon Musk. So that is private networks which we can use very safely. Then the military, we don't need to rely on the military internet that is publicly done by the military. So a lot of people are suffering from the internet, and also people have to use the Facebook with the VPN. VPN is a kind of a kind of applications that we have to use to get the access of the internet. It means like we are limited by the basic humans right, because we are not allowed to use the social media even though we want to, whatever we want. Military is control in everything, so we have to be survive even though there is a difficulty. So like that, we are overcome that kind of things as well. Then in some part of the area, there is no electricity. Military is cutting off. It's mostly like three part of the area, like the internet electricity is nearly broken down. So it's been like 3 years or 4 years they don't have electricity, so they start to use the solar panel. So as you can see in the photos, like with the wind sockets, all of the peoples are charging for their battery and their phones to come here, to like maybe it take 1 day, or like it take 5 hours to get there. They're using to get the battery recharge. So like people are doing a lot of effort to get the electricity, even though we should get every day. We shouldn't be asked for that, but we have to do a lot of effort to that. So that is showing how resilient we are in our country. And also some part of the areas are controlled by the military checkpoints. So we have to rely on our vehicles to go around the checkpoints and like that. So a lot of people are suffering these kinds of challenges because of the military. So I would like to explain a little bit brief about what I have done in Myanmar. So like I live in the middle of the country, like Mandalay, but I went to the conflict affected area like Karenni and the Sagai division, which is one of the most conflict affected area in Burma as well. Firstly, like I in the early state of the teens, I usually do the donations and the fundraising things. But because of the economic collapse, a lot of peoples in Burma also suffer, even though they are living in the city side area, they also suffer the consequences of the war. So I feel like if I'm doing fundraisings on inside the community, they are also affected by the war. That's why I feel like, okay, I should stop doing that. And I need to do other things that I can still support to my community. So I started to do the awareness training to the forces and also for the youth who are living in the conflict area, because like the army, which the conflict is prolonged, the people who are living in that area, they need the funding for the weapons and every other thing. So sometimes they might do some kind of bad things to the people, to the public, like they asking for the taxes for the people who have to give to the taxes to the military, and on the other hand, they have to give for the other army as well. So they feel like they're also suffering from the consequences of the economic collapse. So people are getting a lot of pressures from all of these activities, all of these kind of things. That's why we are start to sharing about the human rights awareness trainings, Geneva conventions to the people who are holding guns, and also a lot of peoples are doing civil disobedience movement. It's a kind of non-violence movement who are not going to the universities or the work that is offered by the military. So that because of that, and the military coup is like right now over nearly 5 years. So a lot of people who are not going to the university, they became more like, and not going to the university, they don't do anything. And some people who are little, like 10 years old, we saw that only even 10 years old children cannot even read a single letter. So we feel like if we're going on like this, in the future, it will be a lot of illiterate people, and a lot of people can be suffer from the and controlled by the authoritarian leaders if there are a lot of illiterate people. So we start to give the trainings, and also we start to give the kind of schoolings, educations in one of the IDP camp in Sakai divisions. That is what we are doing. The CONR is one of the civil society organization. There's a lot of civil society organizations in Burma. This is one of ours. So me and my friends start doing the organizations and helping the people students and youth who are living in the conflict area. And we operate in one school, and also we are not only giving operating the school, but also giving the awareness training for the volunteer teacher who are working in a lot of conflict areas in Sakai divisions, and also not only for their teachers and students, but also we think that we need to give motivations for the internet displaced people who are suffering, who don't have their proper business in that area. So we are giving their motivations video. We are showing the motivation videos and like talk about the education's awareness, human rights, and like that things. So that we have done with me and my friends in within Myanmar.
Summer,
So
thank you so much for those great
yeah.
examples.